So, wow, do we have a treat for you. All the way from Orlando, Florida, we have the Funky Wunks. They've been on America's Got Talent, NBC's World of Dance Season 2, and they have a viral video on Facebook with more than 50 million views. And now they're here to bring some life to the party. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Funky Wunks.
Party rock is in the house tonight. Everybody just have a good time. And we gon' make you lose your mind. Everybody just have a good time. Party rock is in the house tonight. Everybody just have a good time. And we gon' make you lose your mind. We just wanna see you. This is that ice cold Michelle fight for that white gold. This one for them hood girls, them good girls, straight masterpieces. Too hot. Call the police and the fireman. I'm too hot. Make a dragon wanna retire, man. I'm too hot. Say my name, you know who I am. I'm too hot. And my band about that money, break it down. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. Saturday night and we in the spot. Believe me, just wow. Wait a minute. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. That's like, jump on me. If some say that's lonely. Freak dead and own it. Don't brag about it, come show me. Come on, jump on me. If some say that's lonely. Don't brag about it, come show me. Come on, but can't do it like me. Just can't do it like me. Do it like me. Just can't do it like me.
Little ditty about Jack and Diane, two American kids growing up in the heartland. Jackie gonna be a football star, Diane's debutante backseat.
Okay, we need another round of applause for that. The Funky Wunks, they were amazing. Whew. For the last 50 years, the foundation has been fortunate to have many supporters who've given not only financial support, but also of their talent and their time. So tonight we give thanks and recognize the sponsors of our evening. At the genius level, we give thanks to Bank of America, California Casualty, Horace Mann Educators Corporation, and NEA Member Benefits. At the Sage level, we recognize American Fidelity, First National Bank of Omaha, Southwest Airlines, California Teachers Association, New Jersey Education Association, Ohio Education Association. And at the philosopher level, we acknowledge Shocking Orange Productions and the Illinois Education Association. One of these generous sponsors and a longtime partner is the Horace Mann Educators Corporation. And since 1945, the Horace Mann Educators Corporation has been focusing on educators' needs. Whether you're behind the desk, you're behind the cafeteria counter, you're behind the wheel, Horace Mann has you covered. So here to help us recognize the 5 recipients of the 2019 Horace Mann Awards for Teaching Excellence is the Executive Vice President, Field Operations and Distribution, Alan Robinson.
Good evening. Thanks, Old Ed. As the largest multi-line insurance and financial services provider serving the nation's educators and employers, Horace Mann deeply believes in the mission of public school educators. These awards are one way that we demonstrate how much we value their critical role in our society and our country's future. Now, it's time to meet the 5 2019 recipients of the Horace Mann Awards for Teaching Excellence. We will get a very personal look at each honoree through short videos filmed at their schools. Joining me on stage for these recognitions are Sharon Gallagher-Fishbaugh, Harriet Sanford, and Lily Eskelson Garcia. And now, here is our first film.
What I'm doing right now is the hardest I've ever worked in teaching.
Exactly.
And it's the best year I've had ever. Like, I get to do every day the things that I think are the most important to education. And I love it. I absolutely love it.
This is the Success and Innovation Center at Mount Blue High School. It's kind of Dan Ryder's dream project.
A couple years ago, the opportunity presented itself to design a program that would provide multiple pathways to students for success. Becky had a vision for like a kind of a social work office. I had a vision for a makerspace where kids could create and make and design.
Having the combination of what he does and the combination of what I do works really well.
And what we've discovered is nobody else is quite doing what we're doing.
Folks asked us, well, where's the model? Who's doing this? And we would say, here's the model. We're doing this.
Oh, you're gonna dig it. So the Success and Innovation Center is a place on campus where any student, any faculty member can come with whatever problem they're facing.
Dan opens the door up to everybody. They can work on a project or they can work on an idea, and Dan tries to get the resources in that room to help them with their ideas.
I got in there and I realized he had a 3D printer. I had never been exposed to technology like that growing up in rural Maine.
People are building things, soldering.
But it really gave me a chance to express how creative I can be.
So that's a little commentary from you on it. Okay, go for it. Since today we're just biasing to action to try stuff, go for it. You're gonna start doing that. A shark?
The kind of space that we need more of in education, where we're focused on the unique needs of kids as individuals, and then we look to connect them to the resources.
We were super fortunate that we have a state senator who thinks this is one of the greatest things he's ever seen.
I just had this great vision of this teacher who kind of bounced around the boundaries. He broke the paradigms of education. That's what you need, somebody to be innovative with what's going on out there.
Dan is teaching them how to use different computer programs. Maybe it's just from a design thinking standpoint, they're learning how to use technology in a different way.
Design thinking is human-centered, empathy-fueled problem solving. The empathy map is a thinking exercise. It completely transformed everything I was doing in the classroom. I turned all of my teaching into an opportunity to teach kids to be problem solvers. What does he do that reveals that problem? And you're gonna find text evidence to prove it.
He really encouraged trying new things, new programs.
It's so good. I'm gonna tweet that out.
He liked to bring in a lot of interesting technology.
How would Holden navigate more social media? What would it be like if Holden had a cell phone?
Dan is just an incredible individual. Just the creativity and the energy from him and the others in his troop.
Awesome! That's fantastic.
It's just inspiring.
This community is amazing. They support really good things. Great stuff happens in the Western foothills of Maine. Well done. We just need more people to realize it. You guys knocked it out of the park. It was absolutely unbelievable, so I applaud you all.
Please welcome Dan Ryder from the Maine Education Association, accompanied by the MEA President, Grace Levitt. Congratulations, Dan. And now, our second honoree.
So I build a community by really encouraging my students to learn from each other. So we take a daily walk where we get to talk about anything that we want to talk about.
Really? I never tried that.
And that is really important for them to learn from each other in order to really appreciate each other as people and to build that community.
I actually like math. You like it this year, good.
I have loved math since being in high school. It didn't come easy for me though. I had to work really hard at it. I just absolutely love the challenge of it. And that's one of the things that I really want to share with my students.
What do you think about what you see?
Some students would enter her classroom not feeling like they're very good at math. And when they would leave her class, they would understand math in different ways.
She believes in their potential, even when they don't sometimes believe in their own potential. She's able to encourage them to not only survive 7th grade math, but to thrive and to learn to love it.
In 6th grade, actually, I did not like mathematics, but since coming into her class, it really grew on me, and now I love solving problems.
I want them to feel like they can face the challenge of math, feel like they can face how tough it is, so that they feel confident enough to face challenges and to face tough situations.
Bring it back, bring it back, bring it back, back, put it back. All right, y'all listen up.
Cicely creates a learning environment that is very student-focused, student-driven.
She really makes it practical. She gives them real-world application.
Miss Woodard's class is just a phenomenal classroom because she does hands-on activities with us.
Do you think there may be a correlation between your height and the circumference of your head?
I think that my methods in class are different because they're very engaging. They get students involved right away.
Aiden's shaking his head no. Why not?
But my students sit at tables in groups and they often talk with each other and work together.
When students are able to engage with learning through the use of hands-on materials or engaging with peers, it helps them to latch on to the learning.
She makes it fun, she makes it relevant, and she makes it challenging.
She makes me comfortable by encouraging us with her cheers.
As a group, we will often do little cheers that sort of encourage each other.
You like to do a firework cheer, which is like, whoosh.
Good job.
When a student is done presenting, you'll do, you got it.
You got it.
It definitely makes me feel good when people cheer because that makes me know that what I'm doing is good and that I should continue doing it.
When a student overcomes a challenge and it clicks, it's a great feeling of accomplishment.
Okay.
It's why we show up every day as teachers. We want our students to overcome challenges. We want them to learn. We want them to grow. We want them to get better.
And you think this is irrational, so why? Yeah, good.
And I want them to understand how important they are as people so that they walk out of here confident. Confident and knowing that they can do whatever they want to do when they grow up.
Please welcome Cicely Woodard from the Tennessee Education Association, accompanied by the TEA President, Beth Brown. Congratulations, Cicely. And now to our third honoree.
In fencing, it's all about pretending to be a particular sword fighter in a place and time.
And as a social studies teacher, Cindy wants to make sure that her students get involved and can feel history.
I have to balance the very difficult conceptual stuff and abstract stuff with stuff that's practical, hands-on, and just a little bit wacky. For us in middle school, kinesthetic learning is the student gets out of their seat, moves their body to understand and learn a concept.
It's a great way to get your bones moving, and plus when you're moving, it makes your brain refresh.
Moving students to create their own knowledge. It's not a passive experience for them.
Her kids are doing Tai Chi outside.
We've been doing Tai Chi, which is really fun.
She gets them excited about their learning and moving.
She has the skills and the passion and the vision to reclaim our schools, to make public education what it should be.
Yep, face to face.
And then you're just walking.
Her teaching is interactive, it's innovative, and she changes it up. It's not the same thing every day.
We don't have repetition in this classroom.
Instead of having kids memorize dates and names and to memorize history, kids are exploring history.
Most Native Americans do not see the earth the same way Europeans saw the earth at that time.
She tries to bring that energy into the classroom to make the kids enjoy history.
Everything she does is rooted in history, but it's guiding them towards their own future.
Teachers are supposed to help you, and she is definitely a big help in helping me succeed.
You still want to do it? Okay.
Miss Tong is always there for me when I have a problem or I need help.
I demonstrate a lot of what I consider just basic aloha. My understanding of basic aloha is that everyone that I work with is part of my family. I'll feed you, I'll take you in, I'll shelter you when you need it, I'll give you a kick in the pants when you need it. Literally have to focus and get to the hundreds. I think that all of the activities that we do that are kinesthetic and tactile really are ways for kids to connect to lessons. And over the years, I've developed a whole repertoire of ways to get kids out of their seats. All of those things make it easier for them to learn.
Please welcome Cynthia Tung from the Hawaii State Teachers Association, accompanied by the HSTA President, Corey Rosenly. Congratulations, Cynthia.
Just a minute, just come right. Soledad O'Brien, can I call you Soledad? No, I'm
Yes,
not worthy.
that's my name.
I'm not worthy. Miss O'Brien.
Oh, no.
Sounds like a third grade teacher, doesn't it? Has to catch a plane. But wasn't it wonderful for her to be here with us tonight?
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so
It was
much.
awesome to be here
Safe
tonight.
travels.
Thank you.
Safe
Thank
travels.
you. Night, guys.
Safe travels. Oh. Little fangirl thing going on here, you know, I'll get over it. Listen, but now we really want to take just a moment to thank, you know, we have some wonderful sponsors, and we want to recognize that long-term sponsor who's been with us for so long, who continues to stand by our NEA Foundation and public school educators. Please join us in thanking Bank of America for their generous support to help us improve public education by giving educators the resources they need inside and outside of our classroom. Because of their very generous donations, devoted and inspirational educators like so many of you can receive funding from the Foundation's grants program to educators to improve your professional development skills and enhance your classroom instruction. Bank of America is truly making a difference for teachers, for support professionals, for our students across the nation, and we are so grateful. Let's have it one more time for Bank of America. Thank you. And joining us next on stage is an educator whose sensational smile and enthusiasm for excellent teaching and learning are contagious. I'm catching something just from them right now. She has a very long list of academic professional accomplishments and awards, 20 years of teaching English in Texas and Tennessee middle schools and high schools. She became an instructional coach in 2017, helping educators across the country improve their practice. She serves on the Inclusive and Responsive Educational Practice team, and this is where her true passions live. She is an ambassador with the Civil Rights Alliance, a leading educator for equity, and a lifetime advocate for the civil rights of her students. Please, please, please welcome the 2014 Texas State Teacher of the Year and a 2015 NEA Foundation Global Learning Fellow, Monica Washington. Welcome, Monica.
They told me not to teach. They told me that I was far too smart and talented to waste my time in the abyss of public schools. They said it loudly, as if from a megaphone, warning me about the road ahead. Those kids don't want to learn anyway. Why frustrate yourself? Go make some big money, they said. They, don't we all know a they, had heard all of the failed promises of public education. They see public education as the lesser education, the education that means that Coolio, the rapper, is probably somewhere lurking in the hallway, ready to jump out and rap Gangsta's Paradise. We saw the movie and you know the song, been spending most their lives living in the Gangsta's Paradise. I like the movie and I like the song. Meanwhile, though, defeated teachers are in the classrooms as he's rapping, trying to break through dangerous minds. Those are the big, scary stories that too many think are all that define public education. Meanwhile, though, there are teachers, like those teachers who are here, those teachers who just walked across the stage, who are writing the real stories to keep the promise of public education, teaching the whole child with our whole selves. We keep the promise of public education in so many ways. We do it with our actions. We show up early. We stay late. We know that students think that our desk chairs are really blow-up mattresses, and we just stay in them overnight, hanging out underneath the desk until morning when the bell rings and summons us to come forth and teach. We do all kinds of things for our students. We sometimes spend money that we don't have because a student needs to eat, or take the ACT, or go to the dance just like everyone else and have a dress and look like they fit in. We sometimes even let them stay in our rooms in the evening or stay in our rooms during lunch and have a snack with us, even though it may be against policy, because we know they just need us to show them just a little bit of attention. We do it with our ears, ears that are trained to decode, ears that hear what students say while also hearing the words they never, ever utter. Miss Washington, I really was thinking about submitting something to the literary magazine, but I don't know, maybe they already have enough, or maybe they don't want the type of poetry that I write. Decode it. Is my writing worthy? That's what teacher ears hear. And so we validate those talents. We keep the promise with our eyes. Eyes that say, I see you. You are not invisible. You matter to me. And because you matter to me, I'll teach the lesson this way and not that way. I will talk to you this way and not that way. And sometimes we'll have to briefly put aside content because we know that sometimes that's what we have to do to truly reach them. My husband, Ricky, who is a middle school teacher, says sometimes that sometimes you have to stop teaching so you can teach. We keep the promise through relationships. I know that it sounds trite and so very tired, but our degrees and our accolades don't give us the right to teach our students. It is our relationships with them. When we ask about their mom or show up at a basketball game, those are the things that they remember. Those are the things that make them listen. Those are the things that make them listen to the Scarlet Letter. And sometimes they listen to us so well that a student named Madison Norton, when she hears you say that when you were little, you never got the Easy Bake Oven you wanted, she goes out and she buys you one. And I will tell you, I'm 44 now. I was almost 40 then. If you think an almost 40-year-old will not cry over an Easy Bake Oven, I'm here to tell you I stand as proof that that's possible. But that is what public education is. And those are the things that we promise without ever really promising. Those are the things that we don't get paid to do, but we do them out of love. We manage to do all of these things and balance them gracefully on the tips of our pens and Sharpies that we use to teach content. And so, we all keep the promise of public education by snatching the megaphones from all of the they says we've ever met and by being lovingly louder than they are. We do it by teaching the whole child with our whole selves. And I thank you for all that you do to keep the promise.
To the one I look up to, mentor, you are partner in this great adventure of learning to be patient with this tender body of life. You named this body flower, reminded me that I am still growing, that life is all garden, even when everything is coming up wild and weeds. How to photosynthesize fear. How to see the gentle blazing burning of the sun and turn it into muscle that keeps moving. How to see harvest in the downpour, seeds in the turning of the earth. You are my co-conspirator against gravity, always reminding me to climb this mountain and the next, and if I should ever get stuck in the sky, I blame you for daring me to crave the stars. Even now, you are teaching lessons for the future. Even if no one should love you here, there are places in this world, shoulders heavy enough to go back to, that will love you whole. I, the least likely to say love, to say courage, to say dream, I am always learning from you. And if I wanted to say thank you enough, I would have to learn how to take letters out of words, how to make heaven blush, how to squeeze sand without it slipping between my fingers. If I wanted to say thank you enough, I would bottle up all the hours of godly sunlight, press it into your chest, singing until it ripples into your heart. Here is the best thing I will remember from you. Learn to do something impossible. It is the song that will be sung over you, something like fertilizer for the soul. By the God of love, I am lucky to have you. And was never sorry for anything, except that thank you is not enough.
Daughter, sister, loyal friend, and so much more. Teacher, leader, forever learner. She wears many hats. From a young age, she taught me that those who choose to work hard, truly care for the well-being of others, and stay humble to the many blessings this life affords, these are the people who will live the most fulfilling lives. In 3rd grade, when I was cast as Dorothy, she made sure I looked every bit the part, even down to the ruby red slippers she spray painted for me. For 5 years, she graciously drove me to 5 a.m. swim practices, even as I wanted to sleep longer. She's even been there for me through everything, even when I needed some tough love. Like when I sprained my ankle after jumping on a trampoline, after being explicitly told not to jump on the trampoline. What has remained the same throughout my entire life is the unconditional love for her family, her friends, her job, and for me. She is my yin to my yang. She is truly one of a kind, and I am truly fortunate. I call her my mom.
As a second grader, she was the teacher who ignited a love of learning. Later in life, when we reconnected, she became something I've never imagined, embodying love, loyalty, accountability, a genuineness. She became my friend. Aristotle once said there were three kinds of friendships: friendship of utility, friendship of pleasure, and friendship of the good. When I think of my relationship with her, one in which I mistakenly believed she would simply be my teacher, when it turns out she was so much more. Her desire to encourage me, to support me, to see greatness in me, even at times when I may not have been able to see it in myself. As I stand here today, I realize that she has extended one of the greatest gifts any of us could receive: true friendship. It's a friendship that feels like family. Maybe that's because of her willingness to love me, always showering me with the kind of friendship that not only tells me what I need to hear, but tells me what I want to hear sometimes. Of those three friendships, Aristotle thought friendships of the good were the ones that were the long-lasting. He was right in saying as much. However, that would insufficiently characterize her friendship to me. It has been a great friendship, providing a friendship that started with a simple kindness, act of kindness, a friendship that has lasted the test of time, a friendship that is genuine, a friendship that I am forever grateful for. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in recognizing and thanking a woman who is a committed mentor, a loyal friend, a wonderful mother, and as we all know, a truly dedicated educator, the NEA Foundation's president and CEO, Harriet Sanford.
Here's all I can say. Love is. Love is. Thank you.